it's Jai452 here with another episode of the world of cosplay, or looking behind the cosplay. My special guest today is the one and only.
Oh, hello, David Drummond here.
Hi David, so thank you first of all for taking the time out to come and speak to us about all things cosplay.
Oh, no,
And
thank you for having me.
it's an absolute pleasure. And hello to everyone on iGame Online who's hopefully watching this, or if you're watching it on my YouTube channel, hello. So the first question I have for you, David, is when did you first start cosplaying?
Well, the first time I started was at the beginning of this year in April for the Edinburgh Comic Con. I'd always wanted to go to a Comic Con for a long time because obviously I'm into comic books, movies, and games, and all thing geek related. And one of my work colleagues had told me about there being one in Edinburgh, so I decided to. So I got a ticket for that, and that was also another excuse for me to dress up as the Joker, which I'd done twice before for other non-related stuff, and yeah, so it was just an excuse to dress up as that because he's probably my second favorite fictional character of all time. And yeah, when I got down there, and yeah, it was just, well, it's hard to describe the first time you experience your first Comic Con, but just being there with the cosplay community, it was just such a great buzz being there with other people and their awesome cosplays, and just sorry, it was, yeah, just being around there with the other people, and yeah, all the effort they put into their cosplays and stuff, and just being around there. That's kind of what
Got you
that's probably
started, yeah.
added to it when you just see the community and you're being a part of it. That's kind of what spurs you on to get involved with it, and you start thinking, what else can I cosplay as? What can, if you have friends, what can we cosplay as? And it kind of grows from there. Like the minute you're around the other great people in the cosplay community, they just add to it.
Awesome. Who or what inspired you to cosplay?
Well, firstly, I would have to say, okay, I know this might seem a little bit weird and kind of sort of whatever, but I think initially my first inspiration to cosplay in the sense of dressing up was probably the late great Heath Ledger when I saw him in The Dark Knight, and I just loved what he did with the character of the Joker, and that's what got me to dress up as him for the first time. That was the first time I ever put on a costume, and to just being able to dress up as a fictional character you love and being able to just get closer to it was just a really good experience. And then afterwards, when I went to my first Comic Con in Edinburgh, where I met quite a lot of my more recent friends now who have been a great positive effect on my life, and just and really just being around them has inspired me to keep going with it, to always try to think, what else can I cosplay as, how can I improve it. So I mean, there's quite a lot of people that I've met at these Comic Cons that there's so many for them that I can't name them all at once, but basically, they'll know who they are if they see this. Basically, it's you guys, my friends out there, that further inspire me to keep going at it and to keep doing this thing that we all love together, this passion that we all share. So those would have to be the two dual things that have inspired me to cosplay and to keep going at it.
Good, good. Do a lot of these people that you've met still cosplay, or have some of them kind of hung up the cape and cowl, so to speak?
No, we all still cosplay to this day. I mean, because once you go to these cons and you make friends within the cosplay community, it's a great support as well, because you can always, you're always chatting to each other about what your next cosplay is and how you're going to do it. Like even just earlier today, one of my friends was actually speaking to me saying, "What are your next two cosplays?" And we were just chatting back and forth about what they are and how we're going to go about them. And that's the other great thing as well about cosplay community, is not only do you meet friends that can help you, encourage you to keep going and to keep cosplaying, but also give you advice for it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some people like me, it's not easy to make your own cosplays, so it's great having a whole legion of people there that they're just more than happy to help and give you pointers. So really, since meeting these people across the community, it's increased. It's yeah, I don't think it's something I will not give up for a long time, because yeah, I mean, it's a whole new life-changing experience.
What has been the most challenging cosplay that you have done to date?
Um, Probably it's one that I'm still doing. Probably the most challenging one is one that I'm doing with my favourite fictional character, Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. I'd originally ordered a costume to go as him, but I've not been too happy with it, so I've had to assemble my own one, which I'm getting there. I've made a few props for it so far, which I'll actually just show you now. As I said, I'm not the best when it comes to creating stuff, so this has been my first attempt at making things, but so far, this is the first thing I ever made, was trying to get his gauntlet made.
Oh, wow.
Which was pretty challenging. Fortunately, I had quite a lot of help.
Oh, that looks amazing.
Thank you. And
Do you have much flexibility in the fingers?
Not really. See, this is one of the reasons why I'm going to try and do it again, is the glove, because this was the glove that came with the costume. It's not the best. So I've ordered some arm-length leather gloves, which are going to work a lot better, and then I'm just going to do the process again, because it's actually, once you've done it the first time, it's actually easier to get the hang of it. There's a video on YouTube, which if you just type in how to make a Vincent gauntlet, and it's really just easily like crafter's foam and spray paint, so I'll just need to make the fingers again, and then hopefully the next glove should have a lot better flexibility in it. That's just one of the many aspects of the costume I'm going to try and improve on. The other ones recently, which I'm quite proud of because I had to figure these out for myself, was making his shoes.
Of course, the shoes.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was worried about that because these were ones I had to really think how am I going to do it, and also because I had to try and think it out for myself because I didn't quite have
Do you know how I would do the Vincent shoes? And this just shows how pathetically new I am at cosplaying. If I was to do Vincent, I'd probably, if I couldn't buy a set of shoes with the rest of the costume, I'd probably try and get a pair of, do you know the Aladdin type of shoes?
Yes.
Like a pair like them. And then if it was one of those shoes where it curls up, I'd probably just snip the curl to the point where it could be an actual point going down the way.
That's actually a good idea, actually. See, again, this is just the thing with the cosplay community. It's there's really no wrong thing you can do, and you can all, it reminds me of this seminar I was once at where they said, try and, think outside the box, and this is just that, talking to people with other ideas who say, well, here's another thing, and again, that one just works just as well, because
I say that, but there's probably if there's professional cosplay people watching this, there might be 2 people who watch this that will be professional cosplayers. They'll probably be sitting there screaming at the camera going, no, don't do that, that's the worst idea ever. But it's still an idea, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, because since I've been around with the cosplay community, there generally does seem to be a general sense of, well, you can always improve it. It's always an ever-growing trying to prove what you're doing. And, if people say, well, actually, you could try this, it's well, that's good. It's more knowledge for you, more tips you can use. And I think at the end of the day, we're all just united by our passion for cosplaying. So really, it's doesn't matter. I mean, because this is what I've seen, if you see it on Facebook with other cosplayers, they're always saying, doesn't matter whether you make it well or not, or whether you buy it. It's we're all doing this because we love it. So it's it's a really... it's a really supportive community out there.
Just to go back to that question, you kind of spoke about the most challenging from a creative point of view. Do you do much acting when you're in costume? And if so, what has been the most challenging from an acting standpoint that you've done?
Yes, we do. Yeah, I do act some of the cosplays I'm involved with that I go as. Well, recently, the hardest one I had to act was when I went as Two-Face from the animated Batman show at MCM, because I kind of struggled to get into character for that because, as I said, because I'm a huge fan of the Dark Knight film to the point where when I watch it, I'm pretty much studying Heath Ledger's acting for that character. That for the first time when I went as a villain that wasn't his Joker, it was hard to snap out of that. So I think it's harder where if it's a character I'm going as that I don't have too many personality similarities with, it can be harder for me to get into that mood setting. Because, well, unlike some of my friends, I'm not a professional actor, whereas some of them are, so they have the luck, they have the gift and the training to just snap into it instantly, whereas me, that's a little bit more of a struggle to do it. So that's probably Minute just trying to. That was probably the toughest character to get into. Whereas if you're playing a different character, it can be hard, especially if it's moving on from one that you love getting into character with. So that's probably the toughest part. But as with most stuff cosplay related, it's just a case of just working at it and getting better and getting there with time.
So when you're going to be cosplaying as Vincent,
I won't really need to act at all because
okay.
I'm pretty much Vincent in high school, so that'll just be a case of go back to high school, David, and that'll be nailed.
Relive that.
Yeah.
Okay, so in your opinion, what is the most difficult thing or character to cosplay as? And this is like an overall kind of question.
Well, I think from a cosplay standpoint, the hardest characters or character, I think it would be the more, well, for me,
Actually, hold on a sec.
Sure.
I'll restructure that question.
Sure.
In your opinion, like I said, what is the most difficult thing or character to cosplay as from both dressing up point of view and from an acting point of view? Like, which characters have you seen that you think, oh my god, I could never like snap into that kind of role?
Well, dressing up point of view, there's been a few. I think one of the more recent ones I saw, and when I spoke to this cosplayer, it seemed more difficult as well. Is there was one guy that was dressed up as an Iron Man Mark One, which
Yeah.
from a dress up standpoint, you just look at it like the amount of work that would have to have gone in to create that, craft the armor, and to get everything sorted in and stuck together. I just look at that and be like, no, just thinking about how you'd go around making something that complex would pop my head off, and even just wearing it for the whole day. So really, it's characters like that, or I don't know if you've seen
I've seen quite a few Iron Mans and
yeah, or
Stormtroopers and the
yeah,
rest.
or even the interview of the cosplayer that went dressed as Thanos recently for I think it was the San Diego one. I mean, just attempting that one alone, it's like whoa. And yeah, I think even my friend James recently was working on a Doctor Doom cosplay, which he's managed to pull off great so far.
Awesome.
Even just thinking about characters like that, where it's like a lot of detail is needed for the cosplay. Those are the ones where it's like whoa. So I'd say those, in my opinion, would be the more difficult ones. But as I said, there's a lot of cosplayers out there that are just the way they're just so skilled with that. I mean, they say, oh, it takes a lot of effort, but when you see the finished product, you're like, really? Because, it's like, you could do that, like, without breaking a sweat. But, yeah, I'd say those are the harder ones where you have to mess around with, like, Warbler and the other technical stuff that I'm not good with.
Uh-huh.
So,
What do you actually, like, just as a sub-question from that, what do you think of those types of cosplays, like the heavy armored ones? Is that something that you would ever aspire to make, or is that just kind of like you would keep away from that and just go, right, you guys are better at it, you continue on?
I think it is. I think that is the case. I mean, I would love to, and a man can dream, but I think just with like the limited space I have where I live and like the tools I have access, I just don't think it's something I'd be capable of because, I mean, looking at those cosplays, you can tell they take like a lot of time and effort as well, and I don't think just with how hectic sometimes my schedule can be, I just wouldn't have the dedication to make them. So yeah, I think that is just something that is just beyond my skill, but if you're asking me what I think of them, I think they're absolutely fantastic, and I hope that the people that make them keep going at it and keep doing it because, I mean, it's fantastic work, and so yeah, I think they're great. They are the best of the best out there, but yeah, but I mean, as I said, I'm fine with the fact that it's beyond my skill level, and as I said, we all have our different methods of doing it,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Um,
So these guys being the masters, I mean, if they're excellent with that kind of materials, then they're great sources of advice for like the lesser materials, like if less skilled cosplayers like me need to use it. So they're great mentors to learn from as well.
awesome. So the acting side of that, which kind of characters, in your opinion, are like the most difficult to pull off from an acting side in cosplay?
I think it's probably the more lively characters, such as characters like the Joker or Deadpool and such, because they require like a lot of energy and they need to require like a lot of fun. Like the first time I cosplayed as the Joker, I was really caught out by people saying, "Oh, tell us a joke or anything." And I thought, right, yeah, I need to be more. But thinking about it now, I think probably the hardest characters that you would need to act and portray would probably be anything Disney related, because guarantee you there will probably always be one person that says, "Do us do the song from the movie," or that. So I think that'd probably be the harder one. Is any character that's would require singing, or just any characters that have like a lot of personality and a lot of energy. Those would be the toughest to act because you have to keep like that energy going. And as you'll probably know, and every cosplayer will know, while the Comic Cons are great, it's like there are stuff where you do need like the full energy for the whole day, and it does take a lot to like get out there and to afterwards when it's all over you are shattered. So I think those are the toughest ones because of the amount of energy you need
I
to
remember the event that we went to on the event I went to on the 22nd of August. We left about, because I don't live in the Glasgow area, like we had to leave early to get there. We left about 9 in the morning to get there, and we weren't back until about 7, 8 o'clock at night, and I was absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
And it's not so much the travel that exhausts you, although that can be exhausting. It's the fact that you're there for the majority of the day, and you're in costume. You're constantly getting
Sweating.
stopped for people to take pictures. You're carrying around bags, you're carrying around props, and you're like, ugh, you know. But it sounds like I'm complaining. I'm really not, because it is a fun experience when you're there.
No, it is, and you're right. It can be. I think that's it because it's such a fun experience, and because you spend the whole day just enjoying every minute of it. It's like when it's all over, you are like, right now I need to sleep. Because the first time I went to a con, like for a weekend, for a Saturday and a Sunday, first day I went as the Joker. And again, I was in character, I was acting, I had a great time. The next day when I went, I was just exhausted to the point where I struggled to stay in character and to keep the acting up, to the point where I was like, I really just want to sit normal, just be myself with no personality, because I just wasn't prepared for how tough weekend ones can be. So I think it's just a thing you need to gradually build endurance for, and the more you get used to it.
I think one of the more interesting things that somebody has said in a kind of previous discussion I had with them, when it comes to cosplay, the most difficult aspect they think of when it comes to like acting as a character is the characters from video games or like media that don't speak. Like the likes of your hero from Dragon Quest, the Cursed King. Like, he doesn't talk. In the Dragonborn in Skyrim, he or she doesn't talk. So it's those kind of characters that don't physically say anything, and when people go to cons as them, other people will come up and say, "Oh, give us a line from the video game or the social media thing that you're in," and they're like, "Well, I can't because they don't talk." What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's something that's quite difficult to do?
Well, it's not something that I do myself personally, but I think in some ways it's just that if you just keep in mind at the end of the day that the main thing is just you always have fun with your cosplay. So even if it's a character that doesn't speak, it's like you don't really have to feel under pressure to be like 100% accurate to who they are or what they would do or what they wouldn't say. And at the end of the day, if it's not a character that doesn't speak, then you rather just say, "Well, I don't speak," or or even just trying to just go with it and making a joke about it or something. But yeah, and it's not something I've personally had to do myself. But I think really at the end of the day, just don't be under pressure with it. To be don't. I mean, always try to do your best with it, but don't expect that you have to be perfect with your cosplay. Because at the end of the day, the main thing is everybody's there to enjoy themselves, and we're all there to just have fun together.
When you're at cosplay events, what is the one thing that you're most excited for?
Personally, it's just, as I said, spending the day hanging with my friends is just, the main thing I look forward to, because, because sometimes it can be hard because like if it's people that like live further away from you, so it's mainly just yeah, just a chance to get there and just to hang with a gang again and to hang around with your friends and the people that have the same interests as you. So really, it's the sense of community that you feel going through it that I look forward to. But at the same time, also just seeing the other cosplayers as well, like because just to seeing the different characters on display and just seeing if there's any that you'll recognise and. Mhm.
Um, Also, on the flip side to that, what is the one thing that you would find, or you either still find it being really nerve-wracking, or what was the one thing that used to be really nerve-wracking for you?
Still nerve-wracking is definitely if I have to go on public transport while in my cosplay. That is the one thing I hate, and it's just a nightmare. So there was a few times recently where I was able to either, change at the event or, get a hotel there, and I might do that in future. But yeah, it's public transport that can be nerve-wracking, especially if you're traveling there by yourself, because, there's nothing that can make you really feel self-conscious like sitting on a train and you're dressed up as the Joker and everybody's just looking at you. So that is the one thing that I'm just like, oh no.
See, I've been very fortunate in that. Like the 3 times that I've been up at Glasgow this year doing events, I've only ever went in the bus to Glasgow, and I've only ever been half dressed. So I normally just, when I get to the venue, I just say, okay, I'm gonna go and finish getting changed here. So I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that option. So it's normally I just find the nearest toilet and go in and magic happens. Um, which out of the 2 types of events for cosplay do you prefer?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Sorry, we have another guest to the show.
oh, hello, hello,
Oh,
little
yeah.
doggy. Which one out of the 2 types of events do you enjoy more? Do you enjoy the big ones like the MCMs and the Collectomanias, or do you prefer the smaller local ones?
To be fair, I mean, this year was the first time I went to both Collectomania and MCM, but really I've just enjoyed them all equally. Like even the smaller ones, like the Coscon North one in Aberdeen, which was a small event, but it was still a great time, to be around the fellow members of the community there. And I think big or small, it's just, you're there for the same reason. So I don't really have a favourite. I like them all both well, although I would say from what I've seen so far, Collectormania seemed to have had the best guests there, so that was quite one perked that one up for me a little bit.
Were you at the one in the one that I was at in August the 22nd when Robert
Yeah.
Englund was there?
Yes.
I kid you not, like I've mentioned this on a podcast when they were like I hate to use the expression, but I'm gonna use it anyway. When they were like totally yanking out the celebrities, like just kind of saying, and up next on the blah 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 blah, it's such a person. I was on. I don't know whether you were watching Robert Englund when he went up to do the panel that he did.
No, I didn't get a chance to see any of the panels. My friend
Well,
Kyle, who was there, he actually lined up to try and see Robert Englund, but it was actually, he was so close to meeting him. I think he was three more people away, and that's when they came and said it's time for the panel, and that's what it is. So
my
yeah, I
cousin.
didn't get a chance to see the panel because we were at, well, he was waiting to get in line to get his autograph. So
Uh-huh. My cousin had been watching a wrestler that he knows in person,
I
oddly
don't
enough. Um,
think who the wrestler that was there at Collectomania.
there was quite a few wrestlers, some of them local and some of them not so local. My cousin had went to see the panel that he had did, and Robert Englund had was supposed to be on just after this guy. And I was on the other end of the trades hall just trying to get a seat. Well, sorry, it wasn't the trades hall, it was the Brayhead Arena. Sorry, I was on the other
Yeah.
end of the arena just trying to get a seat because my feet were killing me. And as I was walking up the aisle part to get to a seat, the guy over the tannoy like announced Robert Englund, and I swear to God, like he just got Rob out, and the place erupted. And I didn't get so much of a fright, but I kind of jumped and I was like, "Is somebody being killed or something?" You know. So that's always been really, really interesting. It was really fun to actually see Robert Englund there. And the other woman who was in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, she was there as well, I
Yeah, the
think.
first. I don't know the actress's name, but yeah, I think she played Freddy's first victim in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the one thing that surprised me was even though they had like Robert Englund and that woman there and some of the people from um, Game of Thrones there, the
yeah,
one very, very busy person was the woman that does Ash's voice in Pokemon. Because I remember like going around to have a look at what celebrities were on the ground floor, and she was one of them, or at least her table was there, and she wasn't there at the time. When I went back around because I was going to try and get something signed for a friend, the line was a mile long, and I thought, okay, I'll go up the stairs and see which celebrities are there. Nothing compared to her line. Like I swear to God, like her line was so long. I was like, really? I've got nothing against Pokemon. You know, nothing against it. It's a good show. But seeing how long her line was compared to somebody from like Game of Thrones, which is getting a lot of mileage at the moment, I
yeah.
was really quite shocked at that. I was like, people would rather like her autograph. Okay, fair dues.
To be fair, it would have been easier on the lines upstairs had more people flocked to it because the one I was stuck in was the line for Michael Biehn. You know, who played Cal Reese in The Terminator and Corporal Hicks from Alien, which were
Yeah.
two of my favourite childhood movies growing up. So yeah, that was the line I spent most of the day in. And
He
again,
was supposed to do a talk at one point,
yeah,
and he never
did.
did it.
Did he not?
No, he didn't go up.
It might have, I don't know. It might have been because he was too busy signing. Because as the line was getting closer, there you could hear him because his wife, who's also an actress, was also there doing autographs. And during the line, you could briefly hear them mentioning where she says, "So are we going to, get Leonard Edwards to do this?" And he just says, "No, no, I want to stay and sign as much as I can, and
Oh,
as long
that's
as it takes,
awesome.
I'll stay here as long as I need to." So, and I am at that, which I have to say, fair dues to them. It's like more
One of
means more
the
fans got their autograph and got a chance to meet the legend that saved Sarah Connor.
one of the guys, I think it's the very same guy that you were talking about. Did you go on the Sunday, which would have been the 23rd, or was it the 22nd you went?
Oh no, it was the Saturday I went on, so it would have been the 22nd. I didn't get a chance to go there for Sunday, unfortunately.
That's freaky because that was the exact same day that I was there. Yeah, so when we went there, we looked for that guy because I wanted to know. He was one of the ones that was on the ground floor, and I wanted to know if he was there. Because I was like, oh, celebrities, and we didn't see him, and I didn't see him throughout the entire day. So I think they
He
got there
was on
late.
the he was actually on the top floor. That was it because I mean, me
Ah,
and my friend Cal got there. That was the first thing we did, which was because that was the main reason we were going there, which is like we were like, right, let's find him, let's get it signed quickly. The sooner we get there, the sooner the better. So
that
we literally hunted everywhere for him, and then I think we ended up going upstairs and we had to like walk around, and I think it was at like the far end if you go through
right.
into the area, and that's where they
That
were.
that that
That
makes that makes a lot of sense because like the woman who does Ash's voice from Pokemon's named Veronica, and her table was supposed to it was exactly directly across from his. So you'd him like say over here, and she was over like here. So you could literally like see the two of them there in the middle. Um, but but awesome. That's really cool when celebrities actually do that.
yeah.
Um, so, have you ever entered any cosplay competitions? And if so, have you ever won anything? And last part of this question is, what was running through your head if you won something?
Yeah, I've entered, I think, three cosplay. Well, yes, I think two cosplay competitions and one cosplay catwalk. I know I will never ever win one. I really just do it just for the fun, or I happen to be with a group of friends who are like, oh, let's do this, and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, generally, I don't know what's going through my head because the minute I get on stage, that's when I'm automatically like, nervous, and I start to fumble around a bit, and the only thing that really goes through my head is right, quick, get off the stage, and probably proof that I should never ever get involved in acting, but
Oh, don't sell yourself short. Um, In your opinion, what is the best and worst things that somebody who's new to cosplaying can do when getting ready to go to an event?
Right. Let's see. Well, I think probably one of the worst things is just, measuring your cosplays with the others, which is something you should never do because it's never. At the end of the day, we're all there because of like we share the same love of cosplaying and the same love of our geek culture. So it's never really about feeling I have to be the best or is this up to the standards that's expected. It's like it's never being that kind of self-conscious, I would say. And another thing is, and this is something that I struggle with, which is why I say it's one of the worst things. Never feel self-conscious there. Like never, feel you can't talk to anyone or you can't, go out there and enjoy yourself. It's like it's the best place to enjoy yourself and meet new people. Probably, and weirdly, I think I also just answered what one of the best things to do is. So kind of killed two birds with one stone there.
That's great.
Well, I'm really bad for advice, but I'm trying to think from personal experience. Best things you can do there is well, from a cosplay standpoint, just do the best you can with it. Be proud of your cosplay and just go out there and don't waste the day. Basically,
I think one of the more interesting things was like if you're going to be away at a cosplay event all day, maybe you'll agree with this and maybe not, is to make sure you're carrying a bottle of water with you.
Yes, that's a mistake I made the first few times where I don't know how it didn't kill me, but I did. There were times where I did go a whole day cosplaying without any water or anything. But yes, keep yourself hydrated and also remember to eat, to have like something to keep you going. And I don't know if most people feel this way, even if you don't feel hungry, because that's one of the worst things is, you'll know you've not eaten since, so long, and you might not feel hungry, but it's like, but no, you need it because it is going to take a lot out of you. It is, it does take a lot of energy. I know that most people might think, oh, but you're just, dressing up for the day. It's like, no, it's a whole day of activity. You will need to keep yourself in like top condition to go through with it. So yes,
And
I certainly agree with that.
the best of it is like if you're cosplaying as a character that has a lot of facial makeup or even a mask, it you still need to eat and you still need to drink. Like that was
Yeah,
one of my things because I did a male Harley Quinn this year,
yeah. I think I saw
and
a few pictures of that. It was good, by the way.
thank you. Um, because I had the makeup on my face and like my lips were a lot redder than they normally are, I was like, I'm not taking no liquid near my face because it will just melt my entire face and I'll need to reapply everything. It doesn't happen like that if you have a straw, or you can just go like squirt and then you're fine. Same with food. Don't be afraid. And if you have like your makeup supplies with you guys, you can still reapply it at any point. Some
hmm
people put like 4 or 5 layers on during the course of one day, which is insane if you ask me, but still.
Well, if it works for them, or if it works for you, like, to keep makeup on hand to touch up, then go for it. But at the end of the day, just, as I've said, don't expect it to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So it's like, even if the makeup starts fading or it starts looking good, it's like, you know what? It's like, you've put a lot of effort and be proud and don't worry if it starts to fade. It's just, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Just go with it, and yeah, and it saves you worrying about it because I think that's the problem is you'll probably think, oh no, I don't want to this makeup, so I won't have any food. Then it's like putting yourself at risk for it. So never do that.
So I gotta ask, who is our little guest here?
Right, hang on, he's being a bit of a prima donna because he's Daft Fury. This is my dog, my pug, Samuel Jackson. Say
Oh, hello, little Sammy.
hello.
Hello.
Yeah, my turn to keep an eye on him for today, but yeah,
Oh,
he's
he's such a
almost 6.
little cutie.
Yeah.
Um, so my next question in relation to cosplay is, have you noticed a lot of the younger generation starting to cosplay when you've been going to different Comic Cons and such likes?
I've noticed that there's a lot of generations, really. I mean, yeah, there's certainly like a lot of like younger ones, and even like older people as well cosplaying,
Hmm.
which I think it just shows that there's really a lot of people cosplay. It's like it's a wide variety of people. I mean, even one of the other things I've noticed is families
Yeah.
cosplaying together as well, which I think it's just
I got
uh,
sent a picture from, I think, the latest NCNN, like the New York Comic Con. And it was basically like an entire family done up as Star Wars characters. And I thought that was great. It was like you had the dad playing Darth Vader, the little kids playing Luke and Leia, and then the mum playing um, Luke and Leia's like real mother.
yeah,
And I just thought that was great. And they had a little baby as well, and they had them dressed up as Yoda, and I was like, that's just awesome,
yeah.
so great.
Yeah,
Um,
as I said, there's a lot of white people. I think there's even like a family at the Collector Mania where it was like they were dressed up as the Pirates of the Caribbean or
oh, that's
something,
great.
and even just as I said, even older people as well cosplay. Like I don't know if you've seen there was like an image I saw from a con where an old lady had like dressed up as Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog show.
Yeah.
Might be betraying my age, given that I've not seen that on Cartoon Network in a while. So even stuff like that just shows that cosplayers come from many backgrounds, many ages.
I could
We are
totally
Legion.
I could totally give hints to my age online, but I'm not going to. I'll tell you one of the things that I remember after we finish recording, and you can possibly work out how old I am from that. Um, so, have you ever done any cosplays that are geared specifically towards a specific age group? Like, have you ever dressed up like something from, I don't know, say maybe Adventure Time or I don't know, like maybe a Ghostbuster or the Thundercats.
No, nothing really like that. As I said, so far my cosplays have mainly been comic book related. Although I've been trying to branch out now with some more video game related ones and a few
Oh, awesome.
movie ones. But I don't know. It's not really something I think about. I think generally, like my cosplay ideas just come like I'll be watching something and think, okay, can I do that? And if so, right, I'll add it to the blacklist and worry about it. I don't have a very organised system of working out which ones I go as. I generally just go to with which ones I get the idea for at the time.
Okay.
Sorry if that doesn't really answer the
Oh,
question.
that's fine, that's fine. And we've now actually came to the last question. So lastly, what advice would you give anyone who would like to cosplay but is a little unsure where to start?
Well, generally, if you don't know anyone that you can ask for advice yet, then there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of help online, like YouTube videos or even just googling ideas on how to get your cosplays ready. I think first, just think of a cosplay that you would like to do or something that's close to you, and then just try and find it and figure out yourself. But once you do cosplay the first time, and you make new friends within the cosplay community, that's it. You've just got access to complete cesspool of information and advice. So yeah, I think really when it comes to cosplaying, it's just an ever growing learning thing. You're learning new things every time, so just keep going with it. It's always an art that you're always going to be working at. You're always going to be like trying to either improve or trying to work on the next thing. So all I can really say is, and this has probably been said a lot, and I'm not going to add to it, but just do it. Just
You would not believe how many people have been saying that.
yeah, I'm
Um,
ashamed I have to be added to it, but really that's just it. Just go with what you want. Really, it's like as a cosplayer, it's like ultimately it's your path really to go there. So whichever methods work for you, or whichever method you find along the way, just go with it. There's really no wrong way to do it, honestly.
awesome. So now's the chance.
Sorry.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
one thing I thought
Um,
just like that.
Now's the point in the interview when I turn over to our wonderful guest so that he can tell us exactly where our viewers can get a hold of you if they have any further questions about cosplay or cosplay even.
Right. Well, social-wise, the only group I can really think of that I'm a part of is there's a site on Facebook, the Glasgow Gothamites, which I'm a
Mm-hmm.
member of. So
Me
you can
too.
find me. Yep. See, we're all a lot of us. So if you can't find me, you will probably find many other cosplayers that have more knowledge than I do that will be of more help. Generally, I'm easy to find on Facebook and generally, like, especially for like the con pages, so feel free to ask me for advice, or better yet, feel free to ask me who I can recommend for much better advice. But social wise, if you know, just a bit of self promotion here. There's a YouTube channel that some of me and my friends have. I'll just confirm that I've got the name right for some shameful self promotion. Sorry to use your channel for this. Right.
Shameless self-promotion is something we love on the Jai452 channel.
Oh, great. So I don't have to feel bad about
Oh,
it?
don't feel bad about it. We shamelessly self-promote all the time.
Great. Well, yeah, you can find the channel that me and my friends started up a while back, the Gotham Carnival, which
Oh,
generally we just use to like post videos of some of the mad stuff we get up to at these cons, or generally just whatever silly acting videos we like to do. It's each of us like will upload something or other, so it's an you don't know what you'll find there, but hopefully you'll be entertained by it. And also, as a favour to my friend Blair Flicker, another cosplayer, check out the channel Wolf Star Pictures for
mm,
some videos from an actual professional actor, not a rookie cosplayer like myself.
awesome.
Uh,
Well, I'd like to take the time again to just thank David for coming along and spending the time with us and taking us through a little bit more of the land of cosplay. And hopefully, guys, I will be back with another cosplay interview real soon.
Great, thank you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Say bye.
Bye,
Okay.
little bug.